today our normal home cooks face off against each other's mums.
They'll need to taste, cook and tread very carefully.
Because I also have some insightful, rather amusing voice notes from their mums, which we'll share later. So here's how it's going to work. Each of them is going to cook a dish that has been presented by another of their mums, and all they have to do is recreate it on taste alone.
No recipes.
These are really tough.
These are hard.
This is tricky because making a nice dish isn't hard. Making the same dish is really hard.
Yeah.
And not offending each other's mothers.
I'm not worried about that.
That's what this friendship is built upon, Mike.
Jamie, should we start with you? Lift the cloche.
Or have I got a Sally special?
Please welcome, as she's affectionately known down the community centre, Auntie Tuna Hope. Hearty, reliable, with that retro charm. It's tin tuna she's very proud of. Peas that have been in the freezer since 1998, and a cheese sauce so thick she stirs it with a wooden spoon that doubles up as a disciplinary tool, if you're lucky. The pièce de la résistance. The pièce de la résistance, her crown, her glory, and her answer to absolutely everything. Crisps. It's cheesy tuna pasta bake.
This is classic Huttlestone favourite. Tuna fish bake, we used to call it.
You can taste it in a minute, Jay. But Mike, what are you trying to recreate? Lift the cloches. Give a warm, slightly zesty welcome to Madame Salmonella Deluxe. She's refined, elegant, and she absolutely knows it. Swanning into the room, smelling faintly of citrus and with opinions about which olive oil is common. She doesn't do drama, she does aroma. And darling, she has layers of it, albeit flaky at times. By her side, quite literally, a faithful companion. Warm potato salad, solid, dependable, and always dressed appropriately. With this pair on the menu, your little get-together just became a soiree.
Why do I get a feeling the smut is coming later? Because that was very nice.
As is the dish.
Wow.
I think this is a giveaway because I think this was cooked by your mum, but I think it was plated by Barry Taylor.
No, my mum came over yesterday, gave it to me in Tupperware, looking just like that. That was literally just plopped onto that like that.
Wow, it runs through
Didn't do anything. But the recipe is his.
It's an 11-year-old recipe that Sally still treasures.
Cooks it every year at Christmas.
Interesting. Okay, this is going to be a challenge.
Barry, last but not least, please welcome Mrs. Sweet but Strict. She's warm, comforting, and she'll give a big nostalgic hug before you've even taken your coat off. She reckons things were better in her day, and that's not surprising. A hero of the 90s, but refusing to age a day since. She's a proper golden age classic, soft-centred, super sweet, and always soaking in something indulgent. Guaranteed to cheer you up on a rainy Sunday. Give her a try. She might not be fancy, but trust me, you'll go back for a second spoon.
It's the dish, not our mums. It's the dish, not our mums.
I thought it was quite nice.
Wow.
Since growing up, this has affectionately been known as treacle steam pudding. But you'll quickly realise, Barry, there is no treacle anywhere near it.
Okay.
Amazing.
So I'm going down a lane.
Oh, I'm punching Judy.
I'm going to ride Sally Ride.
Thank you, there we go, back on board.
Oh, it's like being back at school.
We'll give you 45 minutes, boys. And that starts now.
What we've got, so it's salmon, steamed on lots of beds of skin on. It's a salmon citrus sandwich. Citrus really comes through in the salmon as well. Right, what is this sauce? Oh no, it's a mayonnaise with something else. Mayonnaise, we've got some herbs. Oh, Ebbers, your shorts have fallen down.
That's what happens when we start talking about your mum.
Lovely bit of business. That is school dinners at their best. It's dense, it's sweet, it's citrusy. I like how it's been paired with, yeah, that's bird's custard, classic. Okay, I've had it 1,000 times, never made it. This is going to be tricky.
This is absolutely my kind of dinner. Crisps on top is really interesting. That is the perfect midweek home-cooked meal. What is that sauce made from?
Okay, right. So I'm trying to think of what's going to take the longest. It's not been pan-fried, so it's been steamed.
Okay, pasta bake logic. You have to boil the pasta until it's quite al dente, and then in the same time, get your fillings ready to go, combine them into a baking tray, into the oven for the cheese to melt. Let's do that. Pasta on the boil.
I've got very little to do here. All I've got to do is put the ingredients together in the right ratios and I think stick it in a microwave. Because this feels very similar to microwave in a mug. Based off what I know about a cake in a mug being 1 egg and the same weight of milk to the egg, I've just doubled it. I've gone 2 eggs, same weight of milk. And then flour, I'll see what looks right.
2 tins of tuna, cream of chicken soup and milk. That feels like a lot.
So got potatoes boiling, tessellating lemon layer. Need to get the salmon in. I think I'm going to steam it. Ginger, dill, orange, star anise on the top.
Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm confused by the cream of chicken soup with the 2 tins of tuna.
It's a good solid base when you need to throw something together.
It is a very good base. It's already got the flavour, it's already got the thickness. Soups work as pasta bake fillings. So Ebbers, I've got my pasta on to boil. I'm heating up the chicken soup. I'm going to add the peas into the soup and the tuna. I've got to figure out, it feels quite a loose sauce, so I'm going to add a bit of the milk in. I can only taste the cheese on top of the crisps, and there's Parmesan and cheddar, so I think I'm just going to add the cheese on top rather than into the sauce. I think the dill has got to go into the sauce as well.
Mike, don't mess this up. It's a classic she cooks every year for Christmas because it also marks her mother's birthday.
Is that true? How does Ebbers know that?
Because, Mike, I have a voice note.
Oh! Story time with Sally.
Okay, Ben, I actually cooked this recipe as I looked it up 11 years ago on YouTube. There was a baked Christmas salmon. You were a lot slimmer then. I want to do that one again.
I love that. I don't think she knows how WhatsApp works. She sent you that.
She sent me that and then she finished it with...
And so are the others.
Oh, so are the others.
I want to do that one again.
Oh, perhaps I'll do that one again. No, Sally, we've got it.
That's amazing.
I've got a batter, and it looks to me a bit like a cupcake batter. So I'm going to go with it. I've got to put some lemon zest into it.
Jamie, did you ever have any pasta bakes growing up? Maybe not chicken and tuna, but any pasta bakes?
Not chicken and tuna, but tuna. A tuna pasta bake was a fairly standard one, or any that came out of a jar that began with dol and ended in mio. There were lots of days that were dol mio days at home, and I don't think my mum would mind me saying that she hasn't always been the best cook. It hasn't been a big priority for her. And let's be honest, if it was a big priority for her and she was a brilliant cook, we wouldn't have needed help from Ben and we wouldn't have started Sorted.
But I also look at my mum's upbringing. Her mum was like a kid in the war. She lived on rations and not a lot of flavour and never really learned how to growing up, so therefore didn't pass anything down to my mum.
Yeah.
Therefore, we just grew up on microwave meals.
I have a confession in that my mum was a good cook and then had 3 children and then quickly descended into what can get on the table that's nutritious. And I do remember her trying to get me to cook and me flat out refusing it because I was not interested. So I have to do a shout out to say she tried, he didn't listen, and look where it's got me.
You weren't interested in cooking, but you did love games, Mike.
Oh no, where's this going?
What is this?
Do you want to listen to a voice note?
Yay. This doesn't look right, does it?
May surprise you to know that he wasn't early starting to talk, but once he did, he never stopped. He started honing his acting and directing skills. He used to pretend to be Elvis Quidlington, as he called him, and I was Fire Officer Steele, complete with helmets too. He would want me to act out Elvis painting the doors red. And if I didn't get my lines absolutely spot on, it was, "No, Mummy, that's not right, do it again."
That happens today.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I used to hide in the loo at times just to get away from the constant commentary and all the questions.
You struggle with a naughty Norman.
Oh, classic.
Naughty Norman.
Norman!
Nice.
Can I have some of your dill?
You can have some of my
Assume
dill.
that this is dill.
Right,
It looks like dill.
I don't know if this is right, Jay, but does this look right?
He's not allowed to help.
So I've boiled my pasta. That is now al dente. I'm going to get that out. In the meantime, I've added tuna, mushroom soup, peas.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is steamed.
Where have you put the wine?
Oh, That's a great question. Is that what we think?
Sorry.
Come on.
I was actually...
You're out of practice.
I know.
Thank you, James. You are so nice. But how much? Can't have too much wine, right? It's an Ebba's recipe.
Quantities wise, this is where it's going to come down to it. I need to make sure that the sauce is loose enough, but it's also got enough of the peas and the tuna in it to make it like Julie's.
So at the end of this, James and I are going to judge the dishes based on accuracy. It's not about the best dish, it's about how accurate can they taste and remake their mate's mum's dish.
I'm not going to mess around here. This comes with instructions.
Mike is instantly jumping in for the pull-through mayo approach. What would Sally say?
Does your mum do a pull-through mayo?
No. Well, she whisks and pours and does it that way.
She does it as per the video. I don't think I was doing a pull-through mayo 11 years ago.
No.
This doesn't look good at all.
Honestly, Sally would have done it much better. What did you do?
I went 2 egg yolks.
Yeah, why?
Well, because they're tiny.
No,
small.
but why yolks? You only use yolks if you're making a hand-whisked mayonnaise. If you're using a pull-through, you always need the whites. You need the water.
Is that true?
Always has been. Yep.
Great. Well, this will work then. Oh, look at that mayonnaise. That's too loose.
If I were you, I'd start again. 12 minutes left.
It's like a sandcastle. Oh no. Maybe I should have lined it.
How are you doing? The person who's over that side always gets away with a lot.
He does get away with a lot, but also look how clean his desk is. He's he's clean his tie bead.
Jay.
So you were saying about looks, right?
You've definitely got more sponge.
Is that just because I use more sponge?
I thought
You could be
quite a lot of batter. Are you sure you don't want to try another one?
Yeah, I'll do another one.
Having another look at the dish, there's some really good browning on the cheese. Looking in the oven, I'm not sure I'm going to get that. So I'm preheating the grill here, which means that I can whack it under the grill for the last couple of minutes if I need to.
Oh, it's baked!
Baz, now you know it's worked, half it, do it, go.
Right, go. I can do it better.
More syrup. Yes, Mike.
Yeah, I forgot about the custard. Never mind.
So, with 10 minutes left, Barry is starting both his custard and sponge again.
We can do this now. I'm starting to scratch.
Come on, Barry, let's go, come on.
Why are you preheating a grill?
Because I might need a grill.
That's not useful.
It is useful for me.
Oh no, I've got a problem. Can I use the microwave just for 10 seconds? It won't be long.
It's a little bit heavier on mustard. I haven't seasoned it yet. It does have some lemon juice in it.
Oh, God, Barry!
Don't look at that one.
Yeah, how can you mess up bird's
I
custard?
wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about my butter.
That's never happened.
Out of the way.
How long left, Ebbers?
9 minutes.
Well, same amount of time, I think.
Barry, that's got to be a grill. When we did the wives version of this a few weeks ago, there were loads of suggestions for what we could do next. Mums was obviously one of them. How plausible, boys, is it that we could do one of the other suggestions? Nans. Are we...
That would be impossible from my angle.
I need to be quick.
What we're saying is I could get the default win.
Typical Jamie, time on his hands causing mischief. Which reminds me of this, Jamie.
Oh no, what a horrible segue.
A couple of memories of Jamie growing up. He was about 3 years old at his sister's young christening, and he went missing for a little while. He eventually got found in our garage with the fridge, drinking some beer. He certainly slept well that night.
He just helped himself to the beer fridge at age 3.
Yeah, obviously.
That is... We haven't changed personality at all.
Looking good, it's looking good.
Consistency's good inside.
Seems to be. It's thickened up in the oven, which is what I wanted, but that's why I added more milk in as well, because it was still quite loose on the plate.
second time. It looks better than the first, but it's not SPAF standards.
Looks pretty good. 4 minutes left.
It looks good.
How would you check?
With a thermometer? It must be cooked though, it's been in for 20 minutes.
Yeah, or just guess.
Yeah. Potatoes, cooked. I'm going to toss those through the mayo, throw in some chopped parsley.
Confidence, Mike.
Do it.
Hoppa.
Last 30 seconds.
Michael, get it ready!
3, 2, 1. Well done, boys.
Ridiculous.
And well done, mums. Well, it was a fun effort, wasn't it?
What a terrible way to start that segment.
I thought you all did really well. There was a bit of panic over on one side.
Standard up and downs and a sorted normals attempt, but we got there.
Jamie, you were recreating Judy's cheesy tuna bake.
I actually think this is quite impressive. It looks really similar.
You were so calm and collected in the way you did it, like such a clean, tidy kitchen. The pasta, al dente. Peas, slightly greener in yours, Jay. Maybe that is unfair because obviously Mike's mum's was made yesterday.
That's even more pedantic than me. I think Jay's done a pretty good job. So similar.
So similar and perfectly comforting.
And I think you were right about not putting cheese in the sauce. I don't know if that's the case.
The Parmesan does go through the sauce.
Does it?
The cheddar goes on the top.
Okay. I was tasting salty cheese.
Yeah,
so I was like, the
course.
Parmesan's on the top, but no, it's already salted crisps and yeah.
But it's essentially lob it all into a pan, right? And then bake it.
Yeah.
Mike, obviously you were working with naturally different ingredients, as in the fish is different, the potatoes are a different shape. So we're really looking at how well it's cooked.
To say the original tasted great.
Did it? Good.
Right,
It was
really
cooked
good.
just
It was
on,
cooked
which is
very
what you
well.
want, and creamy, like just perfect.
Oh, mate.
Also
yeah.
very good. Soft, flaky, juicy and succulent.
Listen, all I'm going to say is Ebba's suggested taking a thermometer to it, and you didn't.
The edges look great.
Yeah, the middle
The edges are delicious.
The middle might still swim off, but the edges are great. What you can get is ginger and star anise and
definitely getting
fragrance and white wine. You're getting all of that.
But it's got all the flavour, and I like that you left the garlic and ginger quite big, because it's about imparting flavour into the fish, not necessarily like
Chewing
eating
it down
that stuff.
afterwards.
So you kind of remove it as you eat it.
The size of the potatoes aside, your mayonnaise on your second attempt looks very similar in colour.
If I was trying to replicate it, I'd have probably cut the potatoes up for surface area.
Nicely cooked potatoes though.
Well seasoned, mate.
Technique-wise, Sally would have been proud, I think.
Good.
This one, there are big visual differences.
Yeah.
It's always difficult to go into a baked recipe blind.
That was hard. Like
That's
I felt
really
for you on
hard.
that.
It was a really
That
hard one.
You were
I think.
guessing ratios. Looking at it, I don't think it's got enough of the treacle to sponge ratio.
No, it's not soaked any of the treacle in.
I think, I don't know if the treacle to sponge ratio is okay, but the sponge is just a bit different, and it kind of like
Yeah.
expanded and didn't absorb it. It kind of just like had it around it.
I think there's a couple of things that she does differently to how you did it.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
I think the ingredient that is missing from your sponge is butter. Equal quantities of butter and sugar
Whoa, okay.
beaten together with a couple of eggs, self-raising flour, the lemon zest, and then it is steamed. It's basically a Victoria sponge mix that is steamed. So it has 120 grams of butter in it as well, which is why yours is dried out and why this one, being buttery, you get this soak in, which is, this is much more akin to, and delicious for it, a Victoria sponge that happens to have been steamed rather than a cake in a mug.
It is tasty. I'm impressed that you got a good tasting cake out with
Yeah, so
no
am I.
ratio at all.
I think seeing how it's been adapted over the years to go from being steamed for hours on end to being in the microwave, but even being in the microwave, it doesn't have that cake in a mug type feel to it. It feels like it always did. And I know she greases the bowl. I know that she covers the top so it is steaming. And I don't
Gotcha.
know if you
Nope,
did that.
nope.
So yeah, that covering the top actually means that it does steam.
And the little rubber band you get around spring onions is perfect to go with the... So it's time to pick a winner. But if you've enjoyed this process, we did it pretty much exactly the same, but with their wives not too long ago. Go and check that out. That was also a lot of fun, but we're definitely both in agreement.
We didn't even have to discuss. Jamie cooked the winning
Most accurate. Taste it, make it.
Well done, Jamie.
I couldn't have done it without Judy.
No? What a combo. Jamie and Judy.
I wouldn't be here without Judy, so...
And Mike, senior.
Yep.
Well done, gents.
Well done.
Good.
Well done, mums.
Thank you, Mum.
Great job. And comment down below, which would you prefer?